Let's go. Bro, 7-0 in the ACC, and ACC championship bound, and live from Fondren Library on the beautiful campus of SMU in the Big D. You are listening to the Mustang Mood Podcast. Oh,
let's go!
Gosh.
Sorry if I yelled too loud there.
That's just absolutely insane.
Peed a little bit. It was so exciting.
Oh, man. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Yeah, it was very exciting. Almost not exciting in the way that it was so exciting. And the fact that our defense was absolutely dominant today.
Just so many sacks, and the sacks were at crucial times. It was an incredible game to watch. I mean, this is a game that I thought was going to be a trap game, and we came out and Rhett Lashley and co just said, no, this is not a trap game. This is a game that, you're going to put the line at 9.5. Well, let's just win by like 25.
Yeah.
Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah. Ponies win by 26 today.
26.
Your
Sorry.
SMU Mustangs win 33-7. What an amazing game. Yeah, there's some things, you could see some area for improvement, but oh my gosh, did we just dominate Virginia today?
There was never a moment in the game where there was doubt of which was the better team. Yeah. It's just the entire game. There's no question about who was going to win, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but it just shows the maturity of this team.
Yeah. Just absolutely dominant today. And we were just talking about this, we've got our tradition of giving out the Mustang Mood Player of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just give it out. Yeah.
And I don't think we can give it to one person. I think we have to give it to a group. And so can I have your help?
This is a big one. This is a particularly large trophy.
Here's the Mustang Mood Player of the Game trophy for your defensive line.
Yeah,
Mustang.
Just an elite group. I said they're graded, and now I think that they're actually elite. I think they're actually elite.
Yeah, just absolutely dominant today. 9 sacks, 5 tackles for losses.
And go through what a lot of those sacks were. I think we had 5 or 6 sacks on third down.
Exactly. And then 2 sacks on fourth down.
And oh my goodness.
A tackle for loss on a third down. It's just so timely when the defense stepped up. It was absolutely amazing. We played great. This is exactly what you wanted to see from the Mustangs today. They stepped up, and now we're going to the ACC championship.
Let's go!
Baby. Let's go. In our first season in the ACC, they said we couldn't do it. They said that we
would hurt their strength of schedule.
Exactly. Instead, they are hurting our strength of schedule. Florida State, Louisville, Pitt, all these teams were supposed to be good. Now they're not ranked. And I'm getting roasted by my friends saying we don't have any quality wins. Like, that's not our fault. The ACC decided to suck this year.
Yeah. In some ways, yeah.
In some ways.
I still think, Pitt was, I think, overhyped, but I still think Louisville's a good team. Louisville's kind of like a Florida type team where it can be hit or miss, but like when they play their A game, they're really good. Florida State's just, they're just dog water bad. It's just crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We don't have to talk about them today, but your SMU Mustangs just looked amazing. Some just really dominant play all across the board. 434 yards today compared to Virginia's just 173. That's insane.
Yeah. Offense absolutely dominated.
Gave up 7 points, but kind of, I don't know. It was pretty crazy. What was his name? Calandria.
Yeah, that play was wild. He scrambled backwards probably 15 yards and just heaved it into the end zone.
Yeah,
great pass. Great catch.
Impressive play to score. We averaged 6.4 yards per play where they averaged just 2.6. Our defense was just, absolutely locking them down. Only gave up 65 yards to the air. Only had 111. Sorry, this is rushing.
Yeah.
111 yards of rushing.
Kind of low for us,
65,
actually.
And we had 323 yards through the air today. Just a big part. Let's see. Moochie Dixon had himself a game today. 4 receptions.
And one of those got called back. He
yards.
had a big play that got called back.
Yeah, let's talk about that now. Okay, what is up with these referees?
Dude, There were 2 calls within 3 plays that were egregiously wrong on replay.
There are 3 times in this game that I'm just baffled that the referees didn't call anything. First off, the guy who, if at halftime we would have had to name a player of the game, it would have been Jordan Hudson. Jordan Hudson had a great first half.
Great first half.
He had 5 catches. 6 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. Was playing great. He looked like the guy that we thought he was going to be all year.
Yeah.
And
I was so glad that he was having a good, he was starting off with a good game. I was like, man, we really wanted him to have a good game.
But he gets blown up, hit in the head, and
yeah,
like the tackle, it was big. It was to the head.
Yeah.
Head or neck area. I don't know how you could say that he was not defenseless. He was in the middle of making a football move. It's like that's what's defining that when he gets like blown up. And so I don't think I think it was pretty clearly targeting on that play. Pretty big miss. The fact that they go to the booth and reverse that one, I thought was pretty crazy. The next
and then the other ones where they went to the booth and then they didn't.
Yeah.
On that pass.
Yeah, Moochie Dixon's pass for 30 yards.
Just an incredible catch. Clearly hands got it under the ball, rolls with it. Everything just looks as clean can be.
It was bonkers. I mean, that was an amazing catch. Great throw by KJ. Amazing catch by Moochie Dixon. And let's give it to him. Moochie Dixon now has 5 receptions for 109 yards in my book.
Yeah, that's what he really did have over 100 yards. Yeah. That catch should have been in his stats.
So
and then the 2-point conversion. They broke the plane and they looked at their video review, clearly broke the plane, and then no reversal.
I was pretty frustrated that they weren't showing that review like right away. Like it seemed pretty obvious like on the broadcast that he broke the plane. Like I understand that.
All the announcers were just like
first touched him in the end zone. He completes the catch, and then he like kind of ends up outside of the end zone. But the ball never left.
It was always on the line.
The goal.
It always had some part of the ball that had breached the line at every point in it.
And they can't say that there wasn't a clear view. There was a perfect view.
Yeah, they had the perfect sideline view.
They had the camera, the truck guy, the little.
The guy on the little go-kart that has the camera up. It's 15 feet in the air.
He was right there. Yeah. And it was very clear when they showed the replay after coming back from commercial that was a good 2-point try. But because of that, the Mustangs don't win by any more than 26.
Yeah.
Could have been 28, but that's all right. Pony's still very dominant today.
Let's just hope that those refs aren't the ones that they select for the ACC championship
I'm
game.
hoping I don't see these refs in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But
which, by the way,
I will be seeing in Charlotte, my SMU Mustang fans.
That is right.
See you there in Charlotte, December 7th, 8:00 Eastern time.
I was booking a flight as the game was ending. I was like scrambling to find one
today because we were booking flights. I already had mine, but Yonnic.
I was a little behind the curve, but I will see you there.
His arrival time's like 30 minutes before the game starts.
I am. I'm going to be taking an Uber straight from the airport. Luckily, the airport's only a few miles away from the field, but I will be sprinting into the stadium.
Yeah, and then he came back. He's coming back the next morning, like at like.
I'll leave at 5 a.m. Yeah, I'll be in Charlotte for less than 10 hours. So
that's insane.
It'll be a fun time, but it is worth it because my Mustangs are worth it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So tickets are on sale. They seem a little pricey. Not gonna
bit. Yeah,
$160 is a lot more expensive than the American Conference Championship game last year. A lot less seats at Tulane than in Charlotte. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we pack it out. We only have 7,000 students.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 5,000 undergrads, something like that.
Yeah, I got to think for this kind of game, it's probably not a lot of students going. It's probably going to be mostly alumni.
Right.
But we still only have like 40,000 alumni.
It's like Arizona State has like 90,000 students. So it's just like the sheer amount of alumni we have is just so much smaller than every other school. So we're not going to be able
We're not going to fill the stadium. There's no way that the stadium
pack half the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know what does anyone, if you want to put it in the comments, you want to tell us what the capacity of Bank of America Stadium is? Be curious to know. Let's see what else.
I got to give a shout out since Sean said he bought in-flight Wi-Fi to catch the live stream. Shout out to you, Sean. We appreciate that.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah,
John,
that's some dedication for you.
That's huge. Yeah, big day today in college football. Mustangs are watching some other games. We'll kind of just quickly go over that. Ole Miss just lost, which is huge. So if the potential of us getting an at-large bid has increased a little bit, but we're not going to worry about that too much.
Let's just focus on winning out the season. If it becomes a conversation where we're going into the championship game and there is a path there, maybe we talk about it then. But for now, let's just win. Let's just win ourselves a conference title. How awesome would it be to win the American, move to a new conference, and win that conference? I mean, I don't know if any team has ever moved to a new conference and just won it outright in a power, like going up a league, even across. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think Virginia Tech was the last team the first year that they've entered a conference, won the conference. Mm-hmm. And I think that was like 2004, something like that. I'm sure the comments will correct us there too.
But Virginia Tech was going lateral, right? Didn't they come from one power conference to another?
You know, I couldn't tell you what conference Virginia Tech came from.
Well, I'm sorry if I disparaged Virginia Tech if you guys were in a lower conference and you ended up punching upwards. But regardless, it'll be truly incredible to go from a Group of 5 conference to a Power 4 conference and then win it in year one. Like that would be truly a remarkable ascension. And I mean, already, don't you feel like? I don't want to speak anything ill over the rest of the season because I really want us to win out. But don't you feel like we've already overachieved? 10 wins.
Oh,
This is just, it's an overachievement of the year already. And, been asked for a shout out for those of us that picked 10 wins. I say those of us, not me. I actually predicted only 9.
Yeah, but Ben and I picked 10-2, and we might be wrong.
Yeah, you guys might be wrong too.
Wrong. Yeah.
Like, there's a good chance that you guys are wrong, and we really have we overachieved this season.
Yeah.
Year one, our recruiting class, I don't know if you guys have saw, we have 4 of our top 6 recruits of all time are in what class? This upcoming class. This upcoming class has 4 of our top 6 recruits of all time. Since we've been tracking recruiting in the early 2000s. And so
we're still a great, transfer portal location.
We're probably one of the best destinations for a transfer portal in the country. If you are, you're a 4-star, even a 5-star that's, maybe not getting the playing time they want, but they want to go immediately into a playoff contender, into a Power 4 team that's just on the rise, like in a great city with great fans and a great stadium atmosphere, which we now have.
Yeah.
It's just such a great destination for players. And, we have a little bit of this to spread around.
Yeah.
Heck, I'd want to go here. If I could play, I'd want to go to SMU, even if I wasn't a homer.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Super fun. I'm shocked that this is happening. Like we've now guaranteed our spot in the ACC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And just 2 weeks away.
We'll be in
Charlotte. We'll be live from an Airbnb almost certainly after the game.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine it. Like the Mustang mood has tracked it all year.
Yeah.
We were skeptics at first. We thought the ACC was going to be a little more tough than it's been to us.
Yeah, we did.
And I think that our team has really
that's what I was going to say.
I
think in some ways it was easier. Florida State obviously wasn't the team that we thought it was.
That's the big one you got to circle, right? I think
all the other teams were, I think they were still like more or less like Louisville is still a good team. I know they have a bad loss
when we beat Louisville, they were everything that I thought they were going to be.
Yeah. And there's something to be said when when a team is like doing really well in a season and they lose, it's a lot easier for them to kind of fall off the wagon a little bit. You see it with teams like LSU. They go into, if they were playing A&M, they go into A&M and they lose kind of in a bad way. Like they lose pretty badly. And then their season just gets derailed. Like they start Garrett Nussmeier, like their quarterback went from having 2 sacks all year. He gets sacked like every game, like 4 times. Like it's just something that happens in the mentality of the players, that once you're like winning a lot of games in a row, you just play at a high level. And I think that's what's happening with SMU. We're winning these games, and so our players are just playing at an elite level. And when you kind of beat down on a team like Louisville loses some games, it's just harder for their players to be as bought in. And so maybe the determination isn't quite theirs. But when we played them, I think they were a great team when we played them.
Yeah.
And I think they still have the potential to be a great team, very dangerous team. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. I think we can be pretty dangerous. I'm really interested to see. I think Rhett has now proven the fact that he's got the team in the right mindset. And now, once again, I'm still like, we got to beat Cal. Like Cal's still like, the big thing on our schedule that's standing in our way. of a potential at-large bid, right?
Yep.
And we want to put ourselves in the best position if the worst-case scenario happens.
Absolutely.
Of us losing to Miami. But I think, I feel like I learned a lot about Rhett Lashley today. Got a huge contract yesterday, I assume.
Yeah.
You would have to assume he got a huge contract yesterday.
I read somebody that it's a private university, and
great
so
quote.
they didn't. They can't actually. They don't release it.
Yeah, they don't have to release the terms of his contract.
Yeah, they don't have to tell us, but they said that Rhett Lashley got a very lucrative contract, and if he leaves SMU, it will not be because of money.
Yep.
And so, I mean, that's great to hear. We hope that. Scott Simons.
Yeah.
We really hope that they do the same thing with Simons.
And Casey Woods, I mean, he's been doing the same.
Our coaching staff is doing really, really well. I think it'll be harder to keep Simons because he has the position elevation of potentially becoming a head coach, which is always harder to keep those.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'm just hoping that
maybe we should stop saying his name so much.
Yeah.
Get less publicity for him. Love him so much. I just want him to stay here. Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't advertise, to other schools how great.
I don't
he
know.
is.
Maybe our defense was really lacking today. Scott Simons really, it's questionable.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no one else should want that guy.
Absolutely not.
No, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
really excited for Coach Lashley. He deserves it. So we're excited where it's going.
Yeah, and to kind of harp on what I was saying before is he had there was every opportunity to drop this game, every excuse or every reason that we could possibly do it.
In a Sonny Dykes year, this would have happened.
Oh,
this is the exact kind of game that we would go into and just lose.
We're in the heart of no win November, and he would definitely he would blow a game like this.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're getting praise from every direction, saying, "Oh, hey, SMU, watch out! Here they come!
It's rat poison.
Here they come!" And then Coach Saban saying the same thing about KJ.
Most underrated player in the country.
Underrated player in the country. Virginia, they're lacking, they're slacking. We don't need to pay too much attention to them. And no, I mean he put his foot on the pedal, covered the spread today, and just we looked dominant, absolutely dominant. So very good win. Let's you want to go to.
Yeah, let's go to the comments. Let's see what you guys have to say, and we'll maybe some shout outs.
Yeah, thanks again, Sean, for buying that in-flight Wi-Fi. Yeah. Let's see.
Round of applause for Florida State. Good job, Florida State. You finally got a couple touchdowns on your
How about that? They
on your resume.
At least 21 points today. George said that losing the shutout on that crazy pass was brutal. I think it was brutal too.
It was.
It was very impressive.
Regardless, every time in these kind of games though, it really sends a message. The line, I know it moved at the end to I think 11.5, but I think it was 9.5 yesterday. Winning by 26 when the line is 9.5 or heck 11.5, just shows that we're being underrated by not just the committee but by Vegas. So there's a good chance that maybe they finally start giving us some props if we just keep beating teams like this.
We'll see. Let's just wait and see what happens. I'm too optimistic to say what I'm thinking out loud. So I'm just calm down and just let's let it come at us.
Yeah.
I see George saying that he's been saying for weeks that the ACC refs are much worse than the American refs. That
might actually be true.
I think just refs are it's such a hard job and they're under the microscope all the time. I think it's just rough.
See, the thing is, it's rough. They're under the microscope, but the video, I don't mind if a ref makes the wrong call in the moment, but if you have the opportunity to replay the video and you can see on the video something clear cut, the targeting play, did they review? I don't remember.
They did review.
They did review. Okay, well,
and they overturned.
See,
they changed
those,
the
but
call
those
now.
3 calls, those are the ones that I have the biggest issue with because they see it, they watch it in slow motion with good camera angles. I'm assuming for the first, I didn't see the targeting camera angles. But for the other 2, clear camera angles, and they still make the wrong call. Those are ones that I have a hard time defending them. I agree, refs have a hard job, but that's egregious.
Yeah,
that's why they get paid to not do that. I could do that.
I'm trying to think of a reason to defend them. I'm trying to come up with. So I guess maybe on the second, the Moochie Dixon catch, maybe the ball is hidden a little bit, but like it seems pretty obvious from one of the camera angles that it doesn't touch the ground.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just,
I better not. I could keep talking.
Luckily,
about this,
we don't get fined if we criticize the refs. So
and Ben De
get better.
Leon is taking full advantage of that, saying the refs were garbage. George says targeting is the goalie interference or blocking the plate of football. Yeah, it's enforced so, like haphazardly. It's like it's just like who knows.
We'll do it today. We'll do it here, but we won't do it later.
Yeah,
it's just all over the place.
Another one celebrating Ole Miss loss to an unranked Florida. I see someone saying Ole Miss cannot be in the top 12 anymore.
No, they will not be.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
they've got to fall out.
And we're
but watch out
for
for Florida
or
in the
14.
top 12. Florida's just now
Florida's
greatest 6-5 team. In
Florida.
history.
We were talking about this. Florida may actually be the best 6-5 team like in the country. Like
maybe
probably ever. Like it's. I mean, they just really got dealt a really crappy hand.
Yeah, it's
just getting beat up every week by a bunch of really good teams. Just tough. But I mean, we're glad. We really appreciate you guys knocking out Ole Miss because I know George later said that our chances went from 0% at an at-large to a 5% at an at-large. So let's just see what happens. Again, that's why we can't bank on it. We just need to win the ACC. So
David asked, are you guys shorthanded? Yeah, it's just the two of us tonight, but Peruna's response to that's pretty hilarious. Now their hands are normal length. Yeah, I think they're pretty normal sized.
Actually, believe it or not, my hands are undersized. My arms are too short for my body. They're actually shorter, like by several inches than you are tall. That's what I was told is like what they're supposed to be. So yeah, I've got really short arms. So I am short-handed, actually, believe it or not.
Short armed.
Actually, no, I'm short-armed. I'm really not short-handed, although my hands are relatively small too, but by a little bit. Jay's not too much taller than me, but he's got about half an inch on me in hand length. So it is what it is.
The Mustang Mood Hand Comparison Podcast. Welcome to the show, folks. Let's see. What else? George says, I don't think getting tickets will be an issue. I really don't either.
Not to the game, but if you're going to get a flight, you should do it now. The flights are already much more expensive than they were like a week ago. So get on your flights now.
Yep. Let's see. Yep. It's pricey to fly to Charlotte from the West Coast.
Yeah, that does sound like a pricey flight.
Yeah. That's and Joel's saying he's going to save some money for the Natty. My wife is not coming to the trip to Charlotte because if we take care of business in Charlotte, then on New Year's Day we'll be busy. So we'll go to that one instead.
I mean, that's something that I'm really got to consider. I mean, if we win the ACC championship, I mean, we're in the playoffs with a bye. Do we know where that would be?
No, I've heard some. I don't think really we'll know until December.
We'll just wait on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to put aside some money for that if we make it to the playoffs. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. The season will be a success, even if we get shut out by both Cal and in the ACC championship game. No doubt.
It would be. It would be a disappointing way to lose.
It would. Yeah. It'd be a hard way to go out. And then we would almost certainly lose our bowl game in that scenario. Like
if we're losing to Cal, we're probably gonna lose a bowl game.
But okay, here's a question from Sean. Do y'all think that securing an ACC championship appearance today will push SMU above ranked 12?
We were 13 before, right? Or
we're
14.
13. It just depends so much on what's happening ahead of us.
Ole Miss is out.
The question that I think is a little more interesting is, will we surpass Boise State?
Yeah.
Because whatever else is happening, like maybe we'll get into the 12 spot, but then BYU will have that 5th championship slot, so we'll still be the first out. Mm-hmm. So something like that may happen. But if we surpass Boise State would be an interesting question. And depending on how Boise State does, but I don't think that so far that the committee has shown any respect to the ACC. Mm-hmm. And I really doubt that they would put us ahead of Boise State.
Yeah, I mean, the only chance that the problem is we have some things that we're up against with BYU being right behind us. If they win today, they have a win over 21 Arizona State.
Yeah, that'll
probably push them above us, even though we outperformed our line. If A&M beats Auburn, there's a chance that they could get ahead. If there's some, I mean, Auburn's not a good team, but there's some SEC bias in there.
I could see BYU hopping over us.
I think will definitely jump over this if they beat Arizona State.
Now, who knows what's going to happen there? But the playoffs is a discussion for later. George told me last night that he turns off the Mustang mood when we start talking about the playoffs. So I want him to turn it back on.
Yeah. That's fair.
So, but let's
just take care of our business. Today. I mean, if you think about it, when we started the season, we didn't even consider the playoffs. That wasn't what we were hoping for. We were hoping for a really good season where we were in contention, not even to make the championship game of ACC. We were hoping for contention just to be in the running of it.
Yeah. I think, it was a dream.
It was a dream. That was our dream scenario. It wasn't the playoffs. It was to make the championship game.
Yeah, and now our dream's coming true, man. And then playoffs would just be an absolute, just a cherry on top. And just the idea of us getting our money back. So everyone making fun of SMU for giving up so much money to go to the ACC, and then the winner of the ACC championship game gets SMU's football money, and if we win, we get our money. It's
wait. If we win, we get our money back.
Yep. The money that we gave up is it was put into a pot for the winner of the ACC championship game.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So all the money that was foregone, we gave up. We're getting back if we win against Miami.
We win. Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. It would be nuts. I mean, it would be
that would be poetic justice.
Really great storyline. I think it's an amazing storyline right now. We take care of business against Cal on senior day. Once again, another rat poison type game. But I think, Rhett Lashley will have us in the right mind spot.
He does a really good job of keeping the players' mentality right. I've
been so impressed.
Players' conference, just their heads are on right. I mean, they are focused. They don't think about 2 weeks down the road. They think, all right, this is what our next job is. We're getting down to work.
Yeah.
I mean, every week. They're just such a good mentality.
I think a few times on the podcast we've talked about our faith a little bit, but you can see that there's something different about this team.
Yeah.
I think back on the Pitt game and when AJ went down right before half, and it wasn't like a coach-led thing that the players got together and just started praying.
It was probably 45 players praying.
Yeah. It was very impressive to see. That was player-led, Let's start praying. Before the BC game, saw a bunch of people, get together and pray before. And say what you will about anything, but having a reason behind what you're doing, thinking that what you're doing is not just winning football games, but it's something greater. It's building community, it's building relationships. It's for the glory of something bigger than yourself. Has a huge portion to do with how you perform.
Yeah,
and I think Rhett Lashley has this team bought into. There's something different that we're playing for.
Yeah,
something bigger than the team, and so, very impressed by how he's been leading the Mustangs. So, shout out to Rhett Lashley. Really, just seems like a really well led team, and I'm hoping for something magical this year. So it's been pretty magical so far. So hopefully that continues. A lot of fun. Let's see what else. One thing I want to talk about is how much should we play Kevin Jennings next week? I think we should have taken Kevin Jennings out halfway through the fourth quarter here. The game was pretty well sealed after it was.
Yeah,
I think 26-0. We should have taken him out.
Yeah, I mean, he took that big shot for no real reason.
And lost the ball on that fumble.
Yeah. I mean, he took a big shot. Took a big shot in the back, lost the ball. I mean, just wasn't necessary to have him in. The game was secured. I know we were trying to make a point of, we should be respected. We're making it to the championship game and all that. But at the same time, Preston Stone's still, I mean, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
We can still do well with Preston Stone and that's the situation to use Preston Stone so that we don't risk Kevin Jennings.
Yeah, I think that he definitely should have been out after going up 26-0. Should have been 28-0.
I feel like once you get 3 scores up, that's really we have a good enough, Preston Stone is a starting level power 4 quarterback.
Yeah.
And so if you're up by 3 scores, if it's 2 touchdowns and a field goal, I mean, if we're up by 17 next week in Cal, Stone needs to go in.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is that how can you not be scarred by what happened against Navy last year? Kevin Jennings did great, but I think, would we have been better off with Preston Stone in the championship game? I think so. Now that this is Monday morning quarterbacking, but and I think there's a chance had we won with Preston Stone against Tulane, we could have been in the Fiesta Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of speculation, but there's my 2 cents. I think that hopefully Rhett Lashley understands that that we need to rest some guys. That Cal, if the guys are in the right mind spot, in the right mind space, that we should go out and dominate, and then sit down the guys who are key contributors. That includes a lot of people. I saw someone who asked, how much should we sit Bouchard next week?
Ideally more than half the game.
Yeah, I would think that at halftime, hopefully we're up by more than 17 points. And people like Brashard Smith, who else should we be sitting? Obviously
Kevin Jennings,
Brashard Smith.
Probably Moochie Dixon and Hudson should both be sitting.
Probably.
Hibner should probably be sitting.
I don't know about Hibner. Maybe. But
don't have
Elijah
another passing
Robertson should
tight
be
end.
sitting. Tank Booker should be sitting. Let's see. Kobe Wilson should be sitting. Ahmad Walker should be sitting. Maybe some folks in the corner position. I think we're kind of.
Kobe should be sitting too. I mean, give him a break.
Yeah. Jonathan McGill, Ahmad Moses.
If any players are watching, we love you guys getting stats. We just want you safe for the ACC championship.
We need you so much. We got to look at what happened to us last year.
Yeah.
Preston Stone going down. I realized that it didn't alter the results of the season, but was huge.
Yeah. It could have been totally derailing. And in a situation like ours where we have potentially a prolonged season of multiple games coming up,
right?
You really can't risk losing a key piece like this.
We have 3 games left. Guaranteed. We have 3 games left in the season. And so we can't, and the 2 most important games are those final 2. And so we can't risk anyone being hurt for those.
Yeah.
And so, at halftime, I think should be, if we're up by 3 possessions, 17 plus, I think we got to be sitting some of these guys.
Yeah, we can't sit everyone. I hear you, George. But ideally, but we have, you have 85 guys on your roster. Plus, if it's a home game, you get everyone. Your whole roster can be there.
Right.
And so if we're up 17 and we put in our second string and they immediately give up a touchdown, sure, we bring our starters back in. But hopefully, 12 weeks into the season, our backups are, they can hold their own and maybe hold them to a field goal. Well, that's fine. Get Stone in there. Stone's a very competent quarterback. Maybe we get a field goal, and then we're still up 17. And then at that, you kind of at that point, if you're just trading, that's fine. Can't sit everyone, but maybe you don't sit everyone the whole game. Maybe you just rotate guys out. Kobe and Ahmad maybe both can't be out together. I know they're both mic'd. They both have the mics, but maybe you just sit out one for a series and then you let the other one sit. So just less risky. The idea is just to reduce the risk so that we have more players ready to go without injury risks.
And I think something that we'll have to look at is how's our line playing? If our offensive line is dominant, I think we could probably sit more people.
I mean, if we're having 9 sacks in a game, probably a lot easier to sit guys.
Exactly, right? It's how controlled is the game at halftime? I think will be the question. And so if Rhett's listening, we love you. Huge congrats. But please be careful.
Please be careful.
Week.
Aaron, no, we will not open as favorites against Miami or Clemson. I do not see a world in which Vegas would favor us over them. If Jay may disagree, but I just do not see a world where that would happen. Now, are we better than them? Can we absolutely beat them? Yeah, I think there's even a chance. There's even an argument to say we're better than them, but I do not see a world where we open as a line favorite.
If Cam Ward gets injured in the game against Syracuse.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, if Cam Ward's injured, Miami, we will be a favorite over Miami.
Yeah.
Clemson, I don't know who they have to back up Klubnik, but if he gets injured, probably the same thing. If either quarterback gets injured on the other team, that would be the only way that it might happen.
Yeah. Let's see. We talked. Special teams been struggling a little bit. Colin Rogers missed another kick today.
He did. It was a longer one. I think it was 48 yards, but still, it seems like he's been a little bit off the last couple games. Which he's had such a great season. We really, whatever he needs to do, get it right. Maybe we get extra field goal practice in this next game against Cal, but we really need him to play his A game for, really the rest of the season. After Cal, we really need that A game because he's such a weapon.
Yeah, so hopefully special teams gets cleaned up a little bit. I see a lot of comments kind of going about who would we rather play in the championship game.
Yeah.
I would rather play Miami.
Same. Yeah, definitely Miami.
Our defense is our strength. Miami's offense is their strength. Let's go strength v strength, and our offense is way better.
Well, I was going to say, our offense will just steamroll their defense, I think. And our defense has a chance to actually get some stops against Miami, which just puts us in a really strong position, I think. Clemson's just, if Clemson plays their best game, that would worry me. If Clemson plays a bad game, we could beat the brakes off them if they play some of the games they played this season. If they play down to that level, we'd beat the brakes off them too. But it's just tough. Just this game, we were favored to win by 9 and then 11.5. But we were miles ahead of Virginia in terms of how much better we were. That, it's going to be hard to see until we play them. If you think about Miami, who have they played this year? They played Florida when Florida was doing their dual quarterback situation, kind of like we were doing against BYU. So it's hard to say. Florida is a wildly better team now than they used to be. I don't even know if Miami would beat Florida if they played right now. DJ Lagway is the real deal. He's probably a top 5 quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
Wow. Sorry,
who
I just
did they
saw
beat?
the Florida State game. 41-0. Florida State's up over Charleston Southern. So congratulations to Florida State on doubling their win total for the season.
Yeah, props to them. Is Charleston, are they FCS? I don't
know.
I don't know what that team is.
They're not very good.
They are. The fact that they're losing Florida State, I think, should be
your
good
question,
hint to
who
that.
has Miami played? So,
Miami's played Louisville, right?
they've played no ranked teams this season when they were playing them. Now let's see.
I think their only reasonably strong wins are Florida and Louisville. But the problem with the Florida win,
Louisville.
again, going back, when you're playing a team that's dueling their quarterbacks, and I was actually at one of the Florida games where they were still doing it. When you're switching quarterbacks every 2 drives, it's just your team is not nearly as good. Florida now is way better than when I saw them on week 4.
Wow. Boston College had themselves today, scored 41 over North Carolina, 41-21 final there. Syracuse.
Boston College is a good team. Boston College is a good team.
Barely beats UConn. UConn's been having a pretty good season. They're 7-4. But Syracuse gets a win 31-24 there. Louisville is up over Pitt right now in Louisville. And then Cal is losing to Stanford at the moment. So, we got to take care of business next week. Got to take care of business. And then the Citadel is doing exactly what the Citadel does and letting a power team roll over.
Somebody in the comments put out there that Charleston Southern is FCS and they're 1-10. So today was the day that Florida State, one of those teams was going to double their win total. And Florida State came through. They beat up on an FCS team. They got the dub.
I saw that.
Good
game.
for them.
That game wasn't even on TV. It was on ACC Network Extra.
Oh, that is awesome.
All right, some closing thoughts. We'll kind of make it a shorter one this week.
Yeah,
huge win on the road for the Mustangs. But let's do score predictions for next week. And who would you rather play in the championship game?
Yep,
Clemson
and then
or Miami.
You guys put in the comments also what you think the score is going to be next week, and who would you guys rather see us play? Obviously, we kind of already said this in terms of I would rather play Miami. Again, I think that our offense can just absolutely run over their defense, and I think our defense has a chance to get some pressure on a Cam Ward. Now, he doesn't really get phased, but if we're in the backfield every play, eventually we're going to get some hits, and maybe we get some third down sacks and just make them punt. So that's my hope. In terms of score predictions next week, I think that we're only going to win by 14. I think it's going to be something like 38-24 or something like that. And the reason why I say that is because I think we're going to get up, and I think we're going to put in some subs. And they may score some, but we'll hit back, and then it'll be a closer game than I think
the score will look.
The score will look closer, but because we're not going to play our starters. That's my thought. Same thing happened to Pitt. Like, we let them score at the end of the game because we were playing our second and third string. I think we were playing third string is what Coach said in the conference. So,
and sorry, who'd you say you'd prefer?
Miami.
Yep. Same for me. Miami. I think I'd prefer to play them. I'm I would just really be excited to see Brashard Smith play against Miami.
Oh,
the
yeah.
storyline of Rhett Lashley, former Miami offense coordinator, come to SMU, and then
Taking a bunch of players with him, too.
yeah,
And then just coming in and then, dude, if we won that game, it'd be poetic. It would just be poetic.
yeah. And then let's see, what do I think the score next week's going to be? I'm going to go 41.
Oh, you still think it's going to be a high-scoring game?
41-20. Oh. 41-20. Ponies win. I realize that Cal's, defense is kind of their strength, but I think our offense in the first half will just, absolutely knock him out. So
actually,
Cal's got a lot to play.
I kind of want to. I don't know if this is wrong. If I should revise it, I think since we're still a week out, I think I can still revise it, and we're in the same conversation. I now that we're saying this, Cal does have a better defense, and I think because we're going to pull Kevin out, I think it probably will be a lower scoring game, and I think our defense is still good enough. I'm actually just going to drop both. I still think we're only going to win by like 14, but I think I'm just going to mitigate the offensive festival that I thought might have happened. It's probably going to be like 28-14. I think it's going to be like 28-14. I'm just going to dial back both sides. Yeah.
I definitely think we're going to score more than 35 points next week. So you can write that down, whatever that, come back and make fun of me next week for being wrong. I
hope you're right. I think that'll be awesome.
I think we're going to score 41 points, only give up 20. And the Ponies are going to go into the ACC championship game. Knock on wood.
Undefeated conference play.
Yeah, in 11-1, with the only loss being to a top 15 team before we had picked our quarterback. So, man, absolutely crazy season for the Mustangs. Just really, really great year. I'm shocked. Like I know I've been talking for the last 30 minutes, but like I'm almost speechless. Like this is not what I expected at all going into the year. So I think that's all we got for this week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Go look at our Instagram. Be watching out for us as we head to Charlotte. We'll be trying to provide as much media coverage as we can. So Instagram's the best way to see us. But continue to follow us here on YouTube if you'd like, comment, and subscribe. Man, so pumped to be going to Charlotte here in 2 weeks.
Never been so happy to throw away some dollars.
I kind of peed a little bit. It was so exciting.
We peed a little bit.
We peed a
So
little bit.
exciting. So, yeah. Ponies win. We're rolling, baby. Pony up. We'll see you in the ACC championship game.
See you guys there.